Hey everybody, this is the real Bruce Wilson here. This is my walk away story. I was born in Redwood City, California, in San Mateo County, and not important but important. That's where Silicon Valley is. There was no Silicon Valley until people started calling it that because of all the tech that's there. Facebook's there, Oracle's there. In the areas, Google, DeepMind, Alphabet, all the big players are there. And with that comes a big blue tarp. The big blue tarp was there before tech got there, but the big blue tarp didn't shade out shade out the light, which is where you find the truth, really. Um, I've lived in a lot of different places, not as many as, say, like a military brat or something like that, but I chose to live in different places. And most of the places I lived in were under that big blue tarp. Um, and you can't help but uh, be inculcated. It's interesting because the house I grew up in, my mother is a Republican. I don't know if she's still registered Republican. She seems to be going down a different road these days with the way she talks, but I've not asked her how she is now registered. And she's a social worker. We didn't talk about politics too much. My dad, almost 100% certain, he's a registered Republican. But again, he does not like to talk about politics. He won't even tell you how he voted, which is fine. That's where I learned about a person's right to privacy. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to get into it. He's not particularly good at arguing, and that's fine. Most people aren't. I'm going to get into that a little bit later in this video about those of us who are conservative and or Republican and or conservative libertarians who really aren't that good at arguing their point or articulating their thoughts, and checking their amygdala and their feelings at the door when we're trying to inculcate people into this, which is a very nice circle. This walkaway circle is lovely and it's inviting. And thank God for all of you. Thank God for all of you. And thank goodness for the gentleman who started the walkaway campaign. And please forgive me, I can't remember your name, sir, but I applaud you. And you need to know that you and all the other people on here making videos and writing their posts have given me inspiration to do this post of my own. I was registered Democrat in 2016. The lead up to 2016 saw a Bruce Wilson who did not vote anymore. I was done with politics. I had been very involved in politics in my 20s. I am now 48. In 2016, I was done, but I was hearing all this crazy rhetoric and this hyperbole that just was over the top. And then I started kind of listening and learning about identity politics and all the stuff. I don't mean to be glib when I say stuff. I'm breaking my own rule here because we need to be a little more exact, but I'm just going to riff here and say I was learning about all the stuff that's going on, the things they're teaching kids in school now. It's troubling me. And it's not just because I'm 48. There's people of all ages that are troubled by what is happening in America, in the United States. And it's just not that simple. The other half of the country can't possibly be terrible, disgusting, racist, and homophobes and xenophobes. And so I started listening. I listened to the Democrats and what they were saying, and then I checked it. And then I started listening to Republicans and conservatives. And I especially went outside my own little white box, and I started looking for and listening to Black and Latino and Asian Republicans and conservatives who, you could argue confirmation bias, but that's what I was doing. I was engaging in confirmation bias. I was engaging in affect heuristics. And you Republicans out there that do this, you need to check yourself because our amygdalas get the best of us. It's old school and it lets us survive, but it's terrible for debate and reason and use of logic. And let's face it, we're better at that than they are. We're just out of practice. So let's see. I have some notes here, so please forgive me while I'm looking at these notes because this whole transition, it means a lot to me and my home as a microcosm and my group of dad friends is a microcosm in the United States of what it could be, because we get along. Like I don't think like a lot of my friends. I don't think like my wife. Um, it's different. We're not on the same page anymore, and that's okay. But if you're going to give up your marriage and your friends and your family and your job and all that good stuff because you don't get along, come on, man, you're playing the left game. You can't do that. We've got to be better than that. You need to become a better person and better at arguing, not to win, but to be able to articulate your points so that we can, when we get to the legislature, we can come together in bills. Because right now, what the progressives want to do and how it's affecting Republicans is we're wanting to do the exact same thing that they're doing, is shut it down. That doesn't work. You're going to end up with Hitler if you start shutting it down. Now, make no mistake, Trump is no Hitler. I am all for Trump in 2020. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. Now, that's a whole nother story. But 2016 was part of my transition into realizing that I was a conservative, and I was looking at libertarian because I wasn't quite ready. I hadn't fully got on board and was still holding on to some of my grudges that were misplaced by false information or information that I didn't look deeper into. And so it led me to believe these things. And in 2016, I was still believing some of the hype and the rhetoric and the bullshit about Republicans and conservatives. I don't like to hear all the nasty talk about my friends and family who are Republicans. I've got a whole slew of friends from all walks of life. Transgender, homosexual, black, white, Asian, all across the board, people. So zip it. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's okay to keep your mouth shut. You don't have to try to win every time. Speak your mind. That's okay. But be nice. Be respectful. Engage the manners that your mother and your father taught you, because they did. They taught you well. But we do need to be better. We need to speak out. And we do need to be polite. And we do need to check that amygdala. The last thing I want to say, in addition to saying thank you again to all of you for giving me the courage to, one, make this video, but also to walk away. And I don't know how effective social media is in posting and sharing things, but I feel like perhaps it might be effective. Even if it gives one person the courage to, copy and paste and share, and that might have a change and an effect on people, I think that's a good thing. But we're not trying to crush Democrats, okay? We're trying to get back to a place where our voices matter as much as progressives think that their voice matters. The difference is we want to sit down at the table, the same table, with them and hash things out. We are so divided right now that it seems like we can't even get to the table. Now, I want Trump to win in 2020, and I know you do too. But make sure that you know who your down ballot candidates are. What does that mean? You need to go online to somewhere like house.gov. You can go to openstates.org. You can go to your state, find my representatives. Oregon, find my representatives, for example. This is where I live. I live in Clackamas County, Oregon. I can go to oregonstate.gov and put in the search engine something like find my legislators. You've got to put in the exact address where you reside, receive your mail. Because without that, you could get the wrong address. I happen to live on a county division line, a district division line. My neighbor lives in a different house district than I do. If you put in a general zip, you're not going to get the right answer. You got to put in your actual address. You can go to usa.gov. I don't know if all states allow you to register online, but if you're not sure if you're registered, go register. And I don't care if you register Democrat or Green Party or Libertarian or Republican. I'd rather you be registered Republican, but you don't have to. You can register whatever you want. Just get registered. Go vote. And you need to call your county's Republican headquarters if you're interested in going that route, the Republican route. They can help you find out who all of the Republican candidates are. And you can get free stuff. You can get signage for your yard. If you have a field, you can get big signs for your the candidates you want to support. And And they're a great resource. You can start. I'm meeting all my representatives for the first time. I have met almost all the people running in Clackamas County that are going to be representing me, who are on the Republican ticket. So it's turned into a bit of a longer video than I expected. Excuse the quality, please. Excuse the ums and the lip smacking. I know I do a lip smacking thing, but God bless all of you for walking away. And good luck to all of us in 2020, regardless of what happens. Stiff upper lip, keep cool. Don't freak out if Trump loses. I think he's going to win. But keep reaching out. It's not over. Watching these videos doesn't mean it's over for us. Doesn't mean Trump has won because everyone's posting this kind of stuff. But it gives me hope that people are starting to wake up, walk away, and start learning and getting educated. You guys take care. This has been The Real Bruce Wilson. I love you guys. That's what what does Kenneth Blanchard say? Kenneth Blanchard says, and in case no one's told you today, I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Shalom, baby.